Right, so who all have done code reviews in their developer history, like past? Okay, मैन्युअली किया है? मैन्युअली किया है. टाइम कितना लगा था अराउंड? Okay. So today we are going to make it easier with Python. We will be using GitHub Actions, and let's start. So who am I? I'm Dishant, and I'm currently AI/ML consultant at RNL and also open to work. So also I currently work as LLM professional. Plus I have past worked on conversational AI, front end, Gen AI, सब जगह हाथ मार के रखे हैं, कहीं भी छोड़ा नहीं है. Then I'm currently also pursuing MCA from Manipal University remotely. And so this is my history, geography, everything right now. Today's table of content, today's agenda. First we'll learn what are GitHub Actions. Then we'll understand what kind of challenges we face usually with code reviews. Then we'll start building the stuffs, that is designing the pipeline and understanding what kind of dependencies and packages we'll need. Apart from that, we'll merge them together just like brewing them, and then installing and running it. If you have any questions, you can ask me at the end. Now, what exactly are GitHub Actions? So how many of you have used GitHub Actions or know about it? Okay, awesome. So now let me give you a brief for those who don't know and what GitHub Actions actually are. You might have heard about CI/CD, and you might not know, or you might be confused with what exactly it is. So how does it help us? GitHub Actions are divided in two parts, that is CI and CD. CI is continuous integration, CD is continuous deployment. So now, as per the terms, if we separate it, let's say I have a lot of code and it has n number of files, like completely hell of it. So will I be able to code review them myself? No, that's not possible. What I do is I write an automation code which can do the work. Like it will have, there are around many libraries. I remember this Black, there is Lint and all those things which you can use for automation processes. So now let's say a particular person or a developer opens a pull request. What exactly happens when you run a CI? I'll show you, but let me give you a brief about it. Now, if a person opens a PR, it will have, let me show you quickly. You see here, it shows pending, this particular dot. You might have seen it in other open source repository itself. Probably, let me go to one of them, that is Daytona. It's just there, so I thought. Right here, they do not have CI/CD. Okay, that's bad. Yeah, I don't know where exactly it is. Can anybody help me out? Okay, yeah. Okay, no. Is it working? Ah, good. Thank you. Now, right here you can see the success. Ah, sure. I can zoom in. Yeah. So now if you see here, it has run checks. What these checks are exactly. So they are using JavaScript to analyze, like there would be JavaScript code. We can obviously check in here what kind of packages they are running, and we'll know about it much better. So it is Redwood. It is obviously based on JavaScript. So now if I check, we have multiple things. First is JavaScript, then it is checking about publishing, and then there are also other messages which are like Slack messages for statuses and all those things. Now they are running this JavaScript code, checking that if a particular code which was uploaded works or not. And once it is able to give a success, then it is ready for development, or it is able, like you can review it properly. And apart from that, once you are able to do that, it is part of this automation part where It not only does the code review, it also does testing about the code. What exactly happens in testing? You might have heard about unit testing. You, let's say, have if else condition code, and you might have not added any kind of an exception to it, and it might be failing. So by doing the testing, you can add it in the CI, and once the CI pass, you can do the CD. That is deployment. Where exactly you will be deploying? Let's say you have Kubernetes cluster or S3 bucket, wherever exactly you want to push it. Once CI passes, you can directly deploy your code onto a server, and that's it. You do not have to do anything manually. Apart from that, you can customize the workflow. So there's no particular restrictions on it, like you have to follow this particular route to do this. You can create your own workflows, you can create your own CI pipelines, you can create your own CD pipelines. And also one more thing that is beneficial, which is marketplace. फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट, ओपन सोर्स है, एंजॉय करो, कहीं से भी कोड उठाओ डाल दो. Then what kind of challenges we face? First, inconsistency. So whenever there is a pull request or a code review which you have to do, let's say you have 5 files and there are around 100 lines of code in each of them. You might be multitasking with n number of tasks because you are senior or a manager. You have to completely focus on that particular code review. If you miss out on anything, it may create this human error. Inconsistency will lead to human error. Then there will be time consuming debugging, which you have to pair program with your interns, juniors, anyone, any particular developer. And then there will be knowledge gaps, because at that particular point in time when you are pair programming with them, you won't be teaching, you will be solving that particular bug. So instead of mentoring, you'll be just solving it, and they won't get time to learn what exactly the fault was. Instead, if you open a code review which has that CI pipeline, it will show them where exactly that particular fault was and on which line. And you can skip all these things just by writing a pipeline. So let's code. Now, hope you are able to see. So currently I have an API which is in Python. Let me go over it. This particular API, what does it do? Can anybody tell me? A simple API. From where? Okay, good answer. Now I'm going to CMD. Olama is currently running. I'll do Olama serve. Okay, so it's already there. Olama run Llama 3.1. It will start running this particular model on my particular machine, and then right here there is this environment. So what I'll do here is I'll directly do make. I hope you are able to see the command prompt properly right here. So I have written make file, and does anybody know how you can run make file on Windows? Okay, just one. Let me show you. How many of you have run make file on another machine apart from Windows? Nobody? Okay. So what does make file do exactly? Now let me bring you to Choco, not this one, Choco for Windows. This Chocolatey is a package which you can install on your machine, which can help you run whatever you are able to run on Mac, Ubuntu platform, whatever packages. You might be familiar with Brew. Same for Windows. Now what does this do exactly for us? If I type in on my command prompt saying that Choco install make, oops, I typed it way faster. What exactly it will do is it will install make for Windows, and I can not only run make files, I can for this particular project, but also n number of projects which not only support Ubuntu machines or Linux machines or Mac, but it will also support on your Windows machine. So how you can create this make file? This is a simple syntax, you don't have to worry about it. Just create this, type whatever command you want. Let's say I create one more command for myself, that is run API. It has to be in a different format itself. So right here you cannot add spaces, you have to add tab, one tab, and then there is this python.main which I'll be running, so I'll just add it here. Does it make sense? Yeah. No? What exactly the doubt is? Yeah, but right here what I'm doing is I'm currently showing you how to create this particular command. So instead of running this whole Python command on your command prompt, you won't be able to remember what exactly that particular command was if it was way longer. So let me show you the way longer one. Now say python m uvcon run app, like this. You won't be able to remember this particular whole command unless you are quite scholar in your school. I'm not. Now this is about makefile. How it will help me out, like this particular API is running on my local machine, and I also have to check what exactly I made a mistake here. Like if let's say I go to this API to its docs, I go here, this is Swagger by the way, I say a topic as world and see what it answers. So right here, here's one out of this world. This is a joke which Llama has written for us, and it is able to respond me a perfect proper response. So right here it does not have a prompt, like it has a simple one, but that's it. And what if I add import requests? Is it been used somewhere? And then like this, is it going out of line? Yeah. So this is what formatting will be doing. Now if I run on the terminal right here, let's say I say make length, it skipped everything, that's bad. Pre-commit run right here, if I do it again, it has skipped, that's bad. Now if you have a look at here, we'll find the mistake what exactly I made, and see we have flake. What is exactly a flake? Flake is a library to check the formatting, to check if it is flake8 python. Let me bring you here and explain what exactly it is. So we have a standard in Python that each and every format should be present. Like let's say there are imports, there should not be unnecessary imports, or there should be a string which should be in line. It should not go out of line, out of particular characters. That is when we saw here in this particular section right here, it is going out of the line. Then there is this requests which is not exactly working for us. It is not being used anywhere. Apart from that, if I have any kind of code issues, it will be able to check. So now flake8 dot, see, it gave me an error saying that this syntax error, this was never closed. The first error itself it showed me. Now if I add it, what it shall do, it gave me new errors. Let me zoom in. Request was imported and this line is longer, so this should not be happening. we have to specifically commit this file, upload it on the GitHub, create a pull request for it. It won't run without it. So we have to create a pipeline for CI, that is this. This is CI. This will be used in GitHub. This will be ran from start to bottom. And how we'll be creating it, what kind of dependencies we'll be using. Let's go through all of them. Do you have any doubts right now, or is it going out of the mind? It cannot see the vulnerability of it, but there are other packages that is PyMy. Yes, there is. So I'll be going through that also. I haven't added here because to create a bug it takes a lot of time. So now, do anybody else has a doubt? Because I see really confused faces.
It is basically used to keep the code clean and in the standards, right? Because
Yeah.
error we can get from the normal commands.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Standards and keeping the code clean.
Correct.
Okay. Can you repeat this question please for the camera?
Yeah, sure. So, may I know your name?
Supranshu.
Yeah. What Supransh asked us is like Supranshu.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what Supranshu asked us is like how Flake helps us and what exactly does it do. So the answer is it creates the whole code in a standard format that is followed by pep8. What is pep8? We'll see in here. Pep8. This is a styling guideline for code. I hope it is visible properly. It has a lot of documentation. We don't read it, definitely. So what exactly does it refer to? Your variable name, everything should be used each and every place. It should not be unnecessary imports, unnecessary usage of code, unnecessary lines of code which is not being used. So it takes care of it. We have a book of clean code. I hope you might have heard about it. Yeah, so it follows that. Now we'll understand all the dependencies which we'll be using in here. We'll be using 3 imports, 3 libraries. Let me go into CI, nope, right here. So tell me all the libraries you see in here. First, Flake, isort, and Black. These 3 libraries we'll be using in this whole tutorial. Now, apart from that, there is one major library, one major package we'll be using, that is pre-commit. Pre-commit will take care of everything which you have into the code. So what exactly and how it works? So if I run pre-commit, run, it says no file checked, that is bad. And if I use it, pre-commit, install, it installs git hooks. What exactly are the hooks? So when you're pushing your code onto the GitHub, it will make sure that everything has been checked. There is no error, there is no failing of anything which is written here. There is no failing of any coding, syntax, or unnecessary imports. That is this. So now let me try once again if it works or not. First, let's update our project. I'll write a commit name test. See, it gave me an error. Let's see what exactly it says. So it won't let you push your code unless and until it has been formatted properly. These are the lines which we have error with, and there is a go-to with it that only developers know. If you don't install pre-commit on your machine, you can push it. So that's the one thing, that's the funny thing you have. Yeah. So now we will check. Yeah. It is checking a different patch that is from the cache. That's why it skipped. That's the main problem here.
Okay, so when we installed it, it again created a big patch.
Nope.
So how does it check?
So I ran pre-commit install just to show you guys like how it works. It was already present in the hooks. So let me go to my code. So, if you see here, this is a folder, hooks. This was not previously present unless and until you install pre-commit. So it creates a lot of things which I can explain, but it is out of the scope. You can definitely have a look at it and check what exactly does it consist. And there are a lot of tutorials present on YouTube on this. So not only this will help your open source project. Let's say you are creating an open source project for the Hacktoberfest, and you want to keep a check like everything works properly on your code. So this is what will help you in Python. And now we will install everything right here. You will have to do pip install flake 8 isort and black. This is already installed on my machine, so it won't take a lot of time. And then once this is installed, I'll show you what they do. So isort is, as per the name goes, it will sort all the imports which are present in alphabetical order. If you want in a different way, then you can definitely add just like this. I have dot flake right here. You can create dot isort and other kind of files which will help you out when description. So there is this max line length which says 120. Does anybody know what exactly does it say? Like, can anybody tell me?
Number of characters in a line.
Yeah.
Created a parameter for that.
Yes. So if you want a custom line of code, let's say you want to do not keep it as per the standard, you want to keep it as per your standard, that is 150. You want in a line there can be 150 characters, then it's fine. Then extend ignore. This is something funny you can do. So if you know how to bypass a particular check, you can do it. That is hashtag no QA, no checks, that is. And let me check. Oh, don't do this. What was the name? F401 and then 501. So now I'll do F501 and then right here in request I'll do no QA 401. Let's see what happens.
Is there any pre-commit which checks the number of no QAs in the code?
Yes. You can definitely ignore them if there are any. Like in Flake8 I've added extended ignore. You can add multiple parameters in there which will say that you cannot ignore those things. So you might have developers who know each and everything. So this is what it does. Now isort has failed. Files are modified by this hook, and apart from that, let's do make format. Let's see what happened. Nothing much because it was already added in here. See? So we are fine with it. Now if I remove all those errors, let's say if I remove it quickly, no QA, then commit it, it still fails. Man, this is really doing a lot of things for me now. Oh, I see. Trailing white spaces right here, cannot have it. Now let's try again. See, it committed at last. I got worried, to be honest, because why is it failing in the demo? Now if I push it onto the GitHub, See, it is running a test. If you click on details, you'll be able to see each and everything which is happening here. It is first installing all the dependencies which were present earlier, and then see, completed the job. It was success. So now if somebody knows how to bypass directly on main branch, then too it will run the CI. So that's one kind of benefit you have. So if anything fails in CI, you can revert it back anytime. So that's one more thing. And apart from that, if you work in CI, and now let's have a look how to develop it. So right here, the first thing which you have to do is name it. That is CI. This is not CD. Just make sure. Then on. What does on mean? When this should run. It can be in different times. Let's say push pull request. There is another parameter which is merge. When it merges, at that particular time also it should run. Then there are jobs. What are jobs? What exactly it should do in the whole time. First, it has to build. What it has to build? That is run on Ubuntu latest. First, you have to provide an environment where exactly it can run. So right now we have this room where we are conducting this workshop. We have a place where I am speaking. Just like that, it has a platform where it can run all these commands. Now, what is the strategy? First, you have to provide a Python version. Let's say you're using some other thing, that is JavaScript. I don't know myself how to do it with JavaScript. Definitely look at it. Then you have to provide that version too in here. Like what exactly it will be using. These are the images which it is using. Then there are steps. You can provide n number of steps here. Each what exactly it is using, you have to check it out. Now actions / checkout @v3. What exactly it is, you can check. This is an image. If I go here, check out CI. This is a repository. It has different kind of versions. So now currently which version is it? 4. So which version I am using here? 3. So you can use whichever version you like. This is a repository which you can use. Apart from that, there, set up Python with matrix version. It is going to set up, use that repository here with the version code as 4. Then with Python, what we'll be doing is installing all the dependencies. Run. First, we have to update this pip, then install flake and black. We currently don't need isort. Why? We are not formatting, we are just checking. So first we are doing linting, and then, well, if there is a check which you want to do, you can do it with formatting, like black. Sorry, my bad. So you can use black, and then if you want to exclude any kind of file, that is, I have this test.py which actually does not have anything. So I want to exclude it. You can add exclude files test.py. What exactly it will do? It will exclude that file. It won't run any kind of checks on it. Same goes for Flake. You can do it directly. So this is what happens when I push the code onto the GitHub. This is how it checks. This is the whole process from top to bottom. First it runs Flake, then it runs black. What this dot is, it checks the root directory, the whole thing. If you want to specify a folder or directory, then let's say I create a directory saying that code. So if I provide it the / Python code, it will only run black command, check the formatting of whatever Python files are present in that directory itself. It won't check anywhere else. So this is how our CI works. So once we push it, it runs it, and then let me go back to Python code. You can also get it directly from marketplace. How? Add a file, create new ci.yml. We have all the copy paste places we got. You can set up Node.js environment, like click on it, you'll get the whole CI pipeline for it. It's that easy. So you don't have to worry about anything. Like if you don't know, it's fine. It's there in the marketplace. You can copy and paste it into your project and check if it works. If it does not work, you can create n number of files for it. Just write CI and that's it. Does anybody have doubts right now? We did a lot of brewing and I know I was pretty quick with this. Anybody has kind of doubt? I know it was quite new. Nope. Okay. So now let's summarize what we did here. First, we checked, we understood what exactly CI is with GitHub Actions. That is how and where it helps us avoid human errors, faster checks, consistency, and everything. So, what are the key takeaways for us? That is, we can use it however we want. There's no problem with not knowing about it. You can have marketplace, you can copy paste it, then you can customize it however you want. That's the first thing which is possible. And it is scalable, so you can scale it however you want. Now, one request is, when you create an open source project, do add CI to your code. It will help you out. Okay, thank you. And you can connect me on LinkedIn or on Twitter, because both are the URLs. If you have any kind of questions regarding GitHub or regarding AI, ML, machine learning, you can ask me directly in there. Thank you so much.
Any more questions for Dishant? Okay, round of applause. Thanks for an awesome